is Jim Beaver, voice of the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series. Introducing Pro 2 and Pro 4 trucks on iRacing. Game on!
Good evening and welcome to the Turn 3 Racing Network. Tonight we're excited to be with you for the Shut Up and Race Street Stock Series. These guys are taking on the Rockingham track with us tonight with the touch of Class 100. Last week we saw them on a smaller half-mile track. Tonight they're going to get these cars up to full speed, really crank them up. Track's a little bit bumpy out there, but we're looking forward to some great racing with these guys. Already during practices, we've seen temperatures on the track jumping around here and there. Sun was out for a little bit. We saw temperatures all the way up to about 103. Some cloud cover came over, and we dropped all the way down to 79. So expect to see that track temperature play a big role in what's going on out there on track, where guys are able to run, where they're able to make things work for them with these cars. All right, let's take a look at the points for this week. After last week, things will be changed up just a little bit. Last week, we didn't have our points leader, Jacob Notstead. That gave Jeff Steinberger an opportunity to take some good points there. So first place, we got Jacob Notstead. He's got 6 wins under his belt. The only race he hasn't won was last week. Sitting in second place, we got Justin Penuel, sitting 34 points back. Tied with him for second after last week's victory is Jeff Steinberger. They jumped him up 2 places with that great performance last week. Sitting in third place, Bud Reidner. Fourth place is Damian Ekoff, with Philip Martin sitting in 5th. Brady Becker sitting in 6th. Cody Hubbard 7th. And Patrick Smith sitting in 8th. And Jonathan Cross sitting 9th. And take a look now. You'll be able to see the rest of the points. Pick out your favorite driver, see where he's doing in points, and go ahead and pull for him through the night. Hopefully he can get some more points and keep moving himself up that scoreboard. All right, like we said, the track's going to be changing throughout. We're already seeing that temperature start to climb back up to 91 degrees. Well, that cloud cover's gone away now. There we go, we're back. Crashed on me. All right. Sorry about the technical difficulties we're having. Just get things squared away. We'll get going here again, though. Like I was saying, tonight's race brought to us by Touch of Class Collision. Driver of the number 10 car, Jonathan Cross. We'll be talking to him here in just a second. See if we can find him out there on the track and see if we get a few words in with him. Jonathan, Danny and Roger up here in the booth. How you doing?
Doing all right.
Hey, we're just excited to be here at Rockingham with you. See you out there in that number 10 Touch of Class Collision car. Rumor has it you got a little bit of real-life experience in these street stock style cars. Mind telling us a little bit about that?
No, I was back in '98. Spent a lot of money. Got probably one $5 trophy that, you know, it's worth $1 million to me, but that's about how it went. Did the best I could, learned a lot, and had a good time till the money ran out.
Well, now we're lucky to have you here. You know, the money goes a little bit further here in the virtual world than it does out there in real life.
Yeah, quite a bit.
So tonight you're running that number 10 car. You're sponsored by Touch of Class Collision. Understand your dad owns and runs that. How'd that get started for you guys?
Well, he always done body work his whole life and worked for other guys. He moved to Florida. Didn't really like that. Decided he didn't want to work for anybody else but himself, and started a business and we've been going strong since 1982.
So that where's your guys' shop located at?
Minerva, Ohio. It's going to be about 20 minutes south of Canton. Most people's heard of that.
Rumor has it they have a football Hall of Fame type deal there, huh?
Yes, sir. And I've never been to it.
I'm sure everybody's got something close by them that's everybody else thinks is famous, but they've never gotten to. That's on your list, I'm sure, to get to eventually.
Yeah, someday.
Well, we are excited to have you out here on track and appreciate the support from Touch of Class Auto Collision. We'll let you get back down there with the rest of the drivers, and we'll head on into the National Anthem. Thanks a lot, Jonathan.
Sounds good. Thanks.
All right, just after our National Anthem, we'll be right back with live qualifying.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Welcome back to Rockingham for the Shut Up and Race Touch of Class Collision 100. You got Danny and Roger up here in the booth. We'll be bringing you the action. Right now we're taking a look at Jesse Womack out there on track, getting in his qualifying lap. Looks like his first lap was going to be a 37.241. I'll have to give it a minute, see where he ends up in comparison with everybody else that'll be putting in times here. Looks like that's going to put him next lap. Does better with a 28.295, putting him in third place. Right now, at the top of the board is going to be Bud Reidner with a 27.708. That doesn't last very long before Gary Esching knocks him down a peg, putting in a 27.708. Let's see who we got out here on track. Looking at Patrick Smith working on his first lap out right now. Use this lap to kind of get a feel for the track, get some speed in the car, get a little heat going, see what he's able to do. Be his first time lap, his first time by. It's just a warm-up, get that car going. Jonathan Cross will be out on track here, putting in the time. Looking like he's going to get himself up into 13th place with his time of a 28.116. Looks like he's going to have another shot at it, see what he can do with this lap. Second time by, could be a little bit slower. Oh, a little bit faster. I'm reading it wrong, but takes himself up to third place with a 27.728. Philip Martin sitting in second place with that time he's got out there in that number 46 machine. Looking like he's got a new paint job, some new sponsors sitting on that car. Bringing it around for this next lap. Last one was a 27.652. This time diving it down, trying to get the track as short as he possibly can. Not going to be able to better that 27. Jackson Lewis out on tracks. Now 104 machine spun up. Last week we saw him doing some good racing. Look for more of the same out of this week. You see him getting that car right down there to the edge of the apron. Able to get that car turned. The track's a little bit bumpy through 3 and 4. 1 and 2 is not quite as bad, but should be seeing that car bouncing around a little bit as they come through there. It's going to be giving the driver something to think about all night long. Watch him do the same, kind of dive it down there as low as possible. Bringing home third place in qualifying with a 27.657. Looks like that's going to be all our drivers out on track. They'll be taking time tonight. Looks like we had 22 out of 27 drivers take a time. All right, let's take a quick look at the track. Looks like that temperature has jumped back up. We're looking at 102 degrees on the track. The air temperature is sitting at about 75 degrees. The track's right around a mile. Runs a little bit different than some of these other tracks we got. That the corners, like I said, will be messing with the guys a little bit, and they'll be working hard to keep those cars under them as they go around this track. Give them a second as they get those cars out on track and get ready to grid up, get this race started. All right, let's go ahead and run through our qualifying starting grid. Taking pole position with a 27.563 is Jacob Notstead in that number 97 machine. In second place, Philip Martin in the number 46. Just behind them will be Jackson Lewis starting third, Gary Isheen starting fourth. Patrick Smith will be starting fifth with Jonathan Cross in sixth. Bobby Hamilton Jr. starting seventh. Jeff Steenbergen starting eighth. Bud Reidner starting ninth with J.D. Callahan rounded out the top 10. Adam Maddox starting 11th. David Knowles 12th. Cody Hubbard starting 13th with Justin Penuel in that 14th position. Jesse Womack will be in 15th with Jerry Stone 16th. Brad Taz Becker starting 17th. Jacob Heathcote starting 18th. Eddie Ekoff in 19th, Mike Todd sitting 20th. Derek Whitford starting 21st, Daryl Whitford starting 22nd. Riley Stenjum sitting 23rd with Tony Quadros sitting 24th. Josh Taylor's in that 25th position and Justin Thuft in 26th. Jeff Bergner's going to round out the field sitting in 27th. Pace car's in and we're getting ready to go green. There's the flag. These guys are getting these cars wound up. 46 of Philip Martin out there on that outside lane.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Danny looks like he has left the building. So Roger here on the mic. Green flag racing here. 1 lap in the book, led by Jackson Lewis. But how about that 17 car there, Bobby Hamilton? Now we got a challenge for the lead up here. Patrick Smith looking to the inside here on Jackson Lewis. It looks like he's going to be able to have the spot here coming out of turn number 4 at the line to lead lap number 2. Looks like Patrick Lewis. And look at that guy, number 17, a Bobby Hamilton Jr., trying to fill the bottom lane here. He's trying to work his way around Jackson Lewis. So Jackson Lewis now stuck on that high lane. He's going to go from first all the way back to 4th here. Jackson Lewis losing a lot of spots. Here comes Bud there in the number 40. Look at that. J.D. Callahan in the 129. He's trying to make a move on the inside there. Also, he's going to look to move to the inside of Gary there in the number 8. That's the battle for your 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th position right now on track. There you see Bud not able to hold the bottom lane. Slides up the track just a tad. Racing all throughout the field, not just here at the front, as right now it is still Patrick Smith, Bobby Hamilton Jr., Philip Martin, and then Bud sits there in the 4th spot. Jackson Lewis still hanging on the outside lane. There you see it. Now here comes J.D. He's going to look to try and get around Bud to the inside here in turn 1. He's got the nose there, and here he is on the move. Your front 3 leaders have now checked out to about a 2.5-second lead as we continue to watch this battle for the 4th and 5th position. There for a moment it was Jackson Lewis stuck on the outside. Now it's Bud Ryder right there in number 40 on the outside groove. Here comes that all-black number 177 here of Riley Stin Jim. He's moving up into the 13th spot after starting out towards the back of the field here tonight. Look up Jacob Nodstead there in the 97, 14th place on the running order. He qualified on your pole. Right now, though, trying to work his way back up through the field. Right now running in the 14th spot, so he is on the move, and he's got the hot pedal tonight. Back up front, though, change for the lead. Bobby Hamilton Jr. worked his way to the inside here. And he is your leader here on lap number 7. Got around Patrick Smith and Philip Martin still sitting there in your 3rd spot. This battle that was brewing for the 4th spot has now started to settle itself out. Now it's J.D. Callahan, Jackson Lewis, Bud still sitting there in the number 40 machine. Now it's also going to be Gary in the 7th spot. Adam in the 94 there, slotted in 8th. Jesse Womack in the 114 is 9th. And Stin Jim right now is up to 10th. It looks like we have a couple guys have gone around here down in the corner. Let's see if we can wind her back here on the replay and see what happened to a couple guys like Jerry Stone. I believe Jeff Bergner's back here, and a couple of the Whitfords also involved in this one. Let's see where it all happened, battling throughout the entirety of the field here. Oh, this actually happened way up in front of this group. I believe actually the 93 of David Knowles is where this all started. You saw everybody start to pile in, and at that point the track was clogged and everybody fell to the bottom. Let's rewind it back here just a little bit and see where it exactly started with David Knowles. There you see David, he's battling with the number 10 there of Jonathan Cross. They go 3 wide. Little contact sends the 93 up the track. He gets tapped by the 60, and around it just clogs the bottom groove. Look at everybody at that point starting to pile in. So that's going to bring out our first caution here on lap number 8. Out front, though, still going to be Bobby Hamilton Jr. Patrick Smith sitting there in your 2nd position. Philip Martin is 3rd. J.D. Callahan in 4th. Jackson Lewis back to 5th. Question out there in chat. Yes, this is the actual name of the league. Shut Up and Race here. Driving street stocks on a couple different tracks. Tonight's race, though, brought to you by Touch of Class Collision over there in the Ohio area. And I believe we are going to welcome back our main broadcaster here tonight. Danny having a little computer issues there, but no problem. We're here to bring you all the action. Danny, for under our first yellow flag here on lap number 9.
You know, it's bound to happen with the way this track is. These guys will be fighting that all throughout the day, trying to make sure that they keep that car under them. All right, so let's take a look at our top 10 here real quick. Sitting with Bobby Hamilton Jr. sitting in 1st. Patrick Smith sitting 2nd. Philip Martin got that 46 machine sitting in 3rd. J.D. Callahan sitting 4th. Jackson Lewis in 5th. Bud Reidner in 6th. Gary Ishin in 7th. Adam Maddox up to 8th, Jesse Womack sitting in 9th, and Jacob Notstead sitting in 10th. One of the rules here with this league is that the winner of last week's race will actually start at the back of the field. Looks like with Jacob not being here last week, his EOL was served this week with him being moved to the back of the field. Lights are off on that pace car. Let's take a look there at Bobby Hamilton as he'll bring him back to the green flag, getting rolling and up to speed again. Just waiting for that pace car to drop off the track for us. There we go. There's our Bobby Hamilton jumping that loud pedal. Watching Patrick Smith hurry and try and jump in line. The way this track seems to be running, anybody stuck to that outside line is gonna be falling to the back pretty quick. Patrick looking at Bud Reiner back there in the number 40 machine. Kind of stuck battling a few guys, sitting on the outside right now. There he goes, able to get in line right there in front of the 114, Jesse Womack. Able to make that in there nice and clean without any issue. Behind him, though, looks like Jesse's got his own worries to deal with as the number 97 of Jacob Notstead comes up on him. Bud Reiner still stuck to that outside. Looks like he's hitting Jesse to his inside, going to give him a little bit of a hard time getting around this corner. That number 97 of Jacob Notstead looking to follow that. Oh, looks like the number 129 of J.D. Callahan gets around on this one. All right, let's take a look back at that. Roger, what you got for us?
Well, as we rewind the tape just a little bit, it looks like J.D. Callahan, who's running in your third position at the time here of incident. Let's see as they go down into turn 3 where this happens. J.D. hugs the yellow line down there. Looks like maybe just got that front left side of the splitter down on the apron and around the 129 goes. Doesn't look like anybody else making contact with J.D., so he gets pretty lucky there as the entirety of the field was coming at him. That's a bad spot to be in. Wouldn't want to be in those shoes. Let's rewind it back just one more time here and see if we can get an onboard camera. Look at the view there from J.D. Callahan as the entire field was coming at you. That's not what you really want to see, Danny.
He definitely got lucky. Nobody else panicked or got into him while he was sliding around down there. You know, the only downside to this is, as we know, these guys only have one set of tires to work with. So any slide like that's going to warm those things up, going to scrape off a little more rubber than they're going to want to use this early in the race. Looks like JD's going to be dropping towards the back of our field here. It looks like he'll be the second to last car in the lead lap. So he'll have quite the amount of work cut out for him as he tries to make his way back to the front of this field. We've seen that he's got the car that can do it, so it'll be exciting to watch him come up through that field. Yeah, the inside of this track is where these guys are going to want to run, but like we just saw, you get just a little bit too low, and with those bumps on this track, you're going to have a bad day. Hopefully, everybody learned from JD's mistake there and able to keep those cars just a touch higher coming through 3 and 4. All right, let's look at some of these other guys. We got Derek Whitford sitting a lap down. Jerry Stone sitting a couple laps down, and Tony Quadros didn't end up taking the green with us tonight. Guys are Derek and Jerry were the guys involved in our first little incident. Those guys will be working on those cars, trying to get those things back to as straight as possible. The size of this track is definitely going to play into the aerodynamics of the car. The cars are going to be wanting to be as aero-dependent as we've seen them so far in this series. Back to see a lot of pack racing. So like I say, these guys will be down here trying to get as much done on these cars before they have to get them back out there on track, and then hoping to work their way back up through our field. All right, with JD spinning there from the third position, things will be a little bit changed up here in the front of our Our pack, we'll be looking at Bobby Hamilton Jr. still leading things with Patrick Smith sitting in second in that number 79 machine. Third place will be Philip Martin in the 46. Jackson Lewis sitting in fourth. Gary Yashin in fifth. Jesse Womack sitting in sixth. Ben Reidner sitting seventh. Jacob Notstad, a little bit of movement up into eighth. Adam Maddox in ninth. And Justin Penwell running out our top 10. Looks like the lights are out on that pace car, and we are getting ready to go back to racing as we watch everybody double file back up. Once again, look for everyone to be trying to get to that inside line, trying to get single file as soon as possible. That outside line just is not working for guys right now. Coming through four, just waiting for that pace car to drop off, and we'll get these guys rolling again. There goes our pace car. Bobby Hamilton back on that loud pedal. Patrick Smith not quite able to get the start he was last time. Philip Martin able to get to his inside, hold him to the out there. Following just behind him is that 104 Jackson Lewis machine. We saw him running towards the front quite a bit last race, and look for him to do the same here tonight. Just behind them, the 114, 8, and 97 are all battling. We're watching that outside line just slowly drop back as these guys keep on pushing. About to go almost three wide with the 97, 8, and 79. These guys are getting racy early in the race, trying to battle their way to the front. Looking towards the back of this field. Looks like the front half's kind of single filed out. Looking back here, Jacob Heathcote in the 132. Oh, looking back even further behind them, looks like Callahan might have got a little bit sideways, having some issues. Maybe a little contact, giving him a hand. Take a look here at the 121 of Jeff Bergner. Running that machine, trying to get it working to catch up to that 132 of Jacob Heathcote in front of him. Looks like he's got a mirror full of that 51 Eddie Ekoff behind him, though. He's going to have to be careful with what he's doing to make sure he gets... Looks like we got somebody the in time. Looks like Riley Stingen got to that inside. Three wide. The 01, the 27 gets sent around after being three wide. All right, we're watching that kind of develop there. Let's have Roger take a look, see if he's able to give us a little more insight of what was going on there.
Well, let's watch this from our camera from above. It looks like they go three wide coming off turn number 4. Looks like Stingen to the inside there. It looks like the 01 of Josh Taylor, and then I believe that was Brad Baker get involved, and from there on, it looks like a little contact between the two to the inside, and then everybody looks to pile in behind that. We'll rewind it back one more time there. There you see him when they go three wide. Looks like Riley got a little piece of that grass and then came up the track. Taylor not knowing he was there, getting into the 27 of Brad, and then you see the 121 there. It looks like that's Jeff Bergner getting involved and a handful of other drivers. They do have an incident limit here, I believe, Danny. I think we might have just saw that play into hand there for a couple of those drivers, but a couple guys caught up on the yellow here on lap number 20. I believe this third yellow here in the early going. Rockingham being one of those tracks that's really bumpy and pretty tough to tame. It's not Darlington, but it's got bumps like nobody's else.
This is going to be quite a bit different from what we've seen these guys racing. Maybe a change of pace. It'll take some time for these guys to figure out exactly what's going on. We've seen them doing a lot of more short track racing where you're running close, but not quite the same pack racing that we're seeing here tonight. It's going to take a minute, I think, for these guys to figure that out. These street stocks, big, heavy cars, not going to respond right away when you get on that wheel, and you're not planning a few steps ahead. Somebody might, like we saw there, jump up and catch you without you being aware that they're down there. All right, well, these guys complete some pace laps. We'll step away for a quick commercial break. Just after that, we'll be back with more of the Shut Up and Race series live from Rockingham Speedway. All right, we're back here from the Rockingham Speedway for the Touch of Class Collision 100. Looking like these guys are getting ready to get rolling here. Just waiting for that pace car to drop off the track and get these machines fired back up. Once again, Bobby Hamilton Jr. will be leading us back to green with that inside line. But just outside him be Philip Martin. There he goes, right back on that loud pedal, taking that 17 machine up to speed as quick as he can, getting through them gears. 104 Jackson Lewis hanging on to that third position, dropping in line behind the 46 of Philip Martin. Martin getting a great start. Looks like we're gonna almost be 3 wide. Going into 3 and 4 with the 104 97 8 car. Gary Isham stuck to that outside, trying to get back down in there, find some place for that car to be. And there he goes. He's able to slot in right there behind the number 79 of Patrick Smith. A few laps back, we watched him starting up there at the front, so we can see that run of that outside line is going to cost you some positions. Looks like Philip Martin looking to the inside of Bobby Hamilton. Thought a little bit better of it, dropped back in line. Just behind them, that battle behind with Notstead and Jackson starting to heat up. Notstead letting Jackson know, I'm here, I'm coming. Able to get to that inside line, move Jackson up just a little bit. Coming on that back stretch. Gives up just a little bit to Jackson, but we've seen that bottom lane prevail. Expect to see him able to complete that pass in the next couple corners here, if not this time by. Looking back here at the number 8 of Gary Isheen, sitting just behind the 114, to run a little bit higher than we've seen people doing coming into that corner. Looks like a number 62 Steinberg caught the outside wall. Back up here with the number 8 on 114. They're still going at it. The whole time they're going at it, Riley's sitting there behind them, waiting for something to happen. He's diving to that inside, looking to make it 3 wide once again. Not able to get by. Battle with Jesse Womack, and Gary Isheen will continue. Just behind them, Riley makes a little contact. Looks like that's the number 60 car of Justin Penwell. He's going to get in touch with a little bit there. Number 8 of Gary Isheen getting left out there high and dry. 60 car going to push through. Tell Jesse, thank you for making that hole. I'm coming on by. Once again, Riley looking to the inside, trying to make something happen coming into here. 3 and 4. These guys are going back and forth, trading positions, trading paint. Taking a look back up front. Looks like the number 97 of Jacob Notstead up into that second position, just ahead of Philip Martin in the 46. Look for him. Looking further back here, something Jackson Lewis having a little bit of an issue. Looks like he's dropping through the field, sitting at the back of the pack. That car does not look like it's tracking quite straight for him right now. He's still running it, still pushing hard with that car. Looks like it's drifting around all these turns, drifting down the straights. He's got to be working hard inside that car to keep it going as well as he is right now. Caution is out, caution's out. Looks like Jesse Womack got caught up in something. Seen a little smoke coming off his car. Roger, were you able to figure out what's going on with that. Looks like it's the 114 Jesse Womack.
Well, not sure exactly where the yellow came out. We do see that Jesse Womack's a little bit slow. He was battling up inside your top 10 at the time. Oh, looks like possible a little net code coming down the Thunder Alley, the backstretch. Around goes Jesse Womack. Hard contact with the right-hand side of that car to the inside safer barrier. He spun it back around and got her pointed in the right direction, but not only is he going to lose a lot of spots, now he's got a lot of right-hand damage. Let's rewind it back one more time here and go on, or check it out once again. There maybe a little net code. Maybe we need to like just a little bit better of a camera angle if we can do it one more time here. There they are at the front straightaway coming down into 1. It's going to happen once they come off turn 2. A little contact between Jesse and then the number 8 of Gary as they were inside the top 10 at the time of incident. Oh yeah, definitely a little bit of net code between those two drivers. Danny going to send Jesse into the inside wall. Looks like Gary though may have X'd himself out of this race with that contact.
That's rough to see those guys running so hard, running so good, and then a little bit of contact can turn things around for you real quick out here on this track. Well, looking through our timing and scoring, looks like we've lost a few guys that had put in great races last week. Jackson Lewis looks like, Gary Asheen, Jeff Steinenberg. All these guys ran great races last week, aren't going to be able to finish up here tonight. Looking at the track, looks like it's sitting at a toasty 91 degrees, warming up a little bit. Definitely going to be playing havoc with these tires. The closer, longer these guys keep running. Like we said, they aren't able to take any fresh tires, so what they got is what they'll be running to the end. Other than damage, don't expect to see these guys coming down pit lane. Looking at the front here, let's run through our top 10. Got Bobby Hamilton Jr. still sitting in first place in that number 17 machine. Just behind him, Jacob Notstead. Little change between him and Philip Martin. Philip Martin sitting in third now. Patrick Smith currently shown fourth. Riley Stenjum sitting in fifth. Justin Penwell sitting sixth. Bud Reidner sitting in seventh. And JD Callahan sitting in eighth. Jacob Heathcote running ninth. And rounding out the top 10 is going to be Adam Maddox. Looks like we still got 16 cars on track. Guys, this track is taking its toll on these drivers here tonight. Between the temperatures and the bumps, they are working to get these cars around. Lights are going to go out on the pace car this time by. Next time by, we'll be looking for these guys to be back on that loud pedal. Looking like we'll have 64 laps to go in this race tonight once we get that green flag. Once again, Bobby Hamilton leading them back to it. Jacob Notstead sitting to his outside. Philip Martin just can't seem to get an inside lane starting position. It feels like we've been watching him restart over and over from that outside lane. Maybe he's learning a thing or two, going to be able to get to that bottom lane a little bit faster this time by. His inside, Philip Martin. And Riley Stenjum, we've been watching him charge through the field, sitting in that fifth position, looking to make things interesting. Just waiting on that pace car to drop off the track for us so we can get things rolling again. There he goes, dropping off. Bobby Hamilton quick to the loud pedal. And Jacob Notstead wasting no time. Slips in there between Hamilton and Philip. Wants to get to that inside lane as quick as he possibly can. Give up as few spaces as possible and maintain that position. Looking back through the field, looks like we got the number 10 of Jonathan Cross fighting with the 20 of Cody Hubbard. Those two are going to be side by side coming this time by. Cross with that inside lane, most likely going to prevail on this one. Oh, as he slides up a little bit, makes contact with Hubbard. Hubbard's able to clear after that contact and continue on. Just in front of them, looks like we got a battle going. Jacob able to make quick work of that one, going on by Adam Maddox. Looking to the front, looks like we got a change of leader. Jacob Notstead to the lead, with Riley Stenjum sitting behind him. Bobby Hamilton Jr., we've seen him leading most of the race, dropped it back to fourth position. Looks like he slid a little bit high, not able to hold on to that position. Jacob and Riley be going at it. We saw last week Riley all over the back bumper of that leader, trying to make that pass happen. Look for him to be doing the same here tonight. Pushing that car to the absolute limit, trying to find every ounce of grip and every little bit of speed he can get out of it. 97 Jacob Notstead dropping right to that inside, getting right down that yellow line, making sure that car turns and he's able to get out of the corner. Right behind Riley is going to be Philip Martin, coming quick to his bumper. Maybe looking to the outside, trying to carry a little more momentum out of that corner. Not quite going to work for him, as he's going to lose a little bit of space there. You're going to have to be careful. He's got that 17 of Bobby Hamilton stalking him from behind now. Looks like Bobby Hamilton driving to the inside of that 46. Might have made a little mistake earlier. Definitely not going to dwell on it too long, as he's pushing up through with everybody again. Looking like Bobby getting a little help from Philip Martin there behind him, giving him a little nudge down the back stretch, trying to help him get caught up. You know, these guys work together here with the drafting we're seeing. They can maybe work together, get caught back up, and get back in the race with those leaders. Looks like through the top 10 is going to be single file. The number 177 of Riley Stenjum still sitting right on that back bumper, trying to make something happen. Might just be having to wait till Jacob makes a little mistake, drives in a little too deep, or hits the apron a little bit, gets drifted up a little before he's able to make something happen there. Not sure how much time he's going to have to do that, though, with Bobby Hamilton Jr. coming up behind him. You know he'll be pushing that car as hard as he can, trying to get caught up. Each time by, I'm watching that 97 Jacob Notstead. Looks like he's sliding a little bit higher up, a little bit sooner. Riley Stenjum trying to get to that inside this time through 1 and 2. But Jacob did start towards the back, so you know he's used those tires a little bit more than Riley's had to do. As we see Riley making that move to the inside now. Jacob going to leave plenty of room as these guys come through 3 and 4. Riley's not quite able to make that pass stick this time by. This time through 1 and 2, able to get in just a little bit deeper, carry a little more speed. Makes that pass. Bobby Hamilton Jr. sitting right there behind him. A little bit of work, and those guys fighting in front of him has him back into the top 3, looking to make something happen from that 3rd position. We're looking at our top 4 drivers real tight together, almost nose to tail. The top 3 sticking that nose right under the tail. Caution is out. Caution's out on the track. Looks like Brad Taz might have got into a little bit of trouble. Roger, let's take a look back. What you got for us?
Well, possibly going to involve the 27 here, Brad Taz Baker, as he's down pit road in that machine. Let's go back and check it out. He was battling with Jesse Womack and Jonathan Cross right there. Womack to the back bumper of the 27. Door slammed the 27 when he got to his inside, and around goes Brad Taz. He slides it right down, and look at that recovery. Right into pit road like it was absolutely planned. Let's go on board. Let's rewind it back and go on board here with Brad and see if we can see how those hands were working. There you see Jesse all over the back end. You see him kind of pushing him down the backstretch. Right there, it looked like Brad just off the gas sooner than Jesse was expecting.
With the tight racing we're seeing here tonight, something that little can end up being a bigger deal than drivers are going to expect. You know, we were watching those top four be right nose to bumper, had someone lifted a little bit earlier, gotten back to the throttle a little bit sooner. We could have seen the very same thing happen in here towards the front. As this night goes on, guys are going to slowly get more and more impatient and be slowly looking to sit as close as possible, really push the envelope, trying to make something happen here. All right, by the time we go back to green flag racing, we'll be hitting that halfway point, 50 laps in, 50 to go. Up towards the front, we still got Riley Stenjum sitting in first, Jacob Notstead into second. Bobby Hamilton Jr. be starting in that third place position on that preferred inside line. Look for that to get interesting with the number 46 of Philip Martin starting fourth. Patrick Smith starting fifth, and J.D. Callahan in sixth. Bud Reidner starting seventh. Jacob Heathcote in eighth. Adam Maddox sitting ninth, and Cody Hubbard in that 10th position. J.D. Callahan, we watched him spin a little bit earlier tonight, able to get that car up to speed, up to going again, and you know, we were a little bit worried about those tires being cooked for him. Doesn't seem to be affecting him too much. He's able to be sitting just outside the top 5, but as we've seen him pushing through the field, expect to see that continue here. So that car has been on the move all over the scoreboard here. Started in 10th, dropped all the way back to 23rd position before recovering up here to 6th. So you know, he's able to get that car gathered up under him, able to keep his head in the game and just keep pushing that machine. Question is, though, with that spin on those tires, with driving as hard as you know he's had to do to get back up here to the 6th position, is he going to have those tires under him at the end of this race, or are we going to see him struggling there towards the end? We've seen quite a bit of action in the front of this this race, so maybe those guys around him have been using their tires up quite a bit too, and he'll have a good shot at keeping that car moving forward. Looks like we are getting back to double file. The lights are out on the pace car. This time, Riley Stenjum will be leading us back to green. Everybody's formed up, getting ready, just waiting for that pace car once again to drop off. These guys can get back up to speed, get that racing going again. Jacob Notstead a little bit slow back to the gas, kind of checking everything up a little bit. Have to see what happened there. Jacob Notstead, we saw him get to the line before Riley Stenjum, so we'll have to see what iRacing does with that one. Currently, he's shown in 2nd position, just there behind Riley Stenjum, with Bobby Hamilton clicking right on their heels, trying to get to him. Riley Stenjum slides up high, coming out of 3 and 4. Not the same line we've seen him running all night long. That gives Jacob Notstead an opportunity to get to the inside. Jacob back to the lead. Riley looking to that inside. Able to get a little speed coming out of 1 and 2. Looking inside. Back again. While these guys are battling, Bobby Hamilton Jr. back there's got to be looking at it saying, thanks guys, let me get this thing going and get back up in there with you. They're trading that position back and forth. This time through, Jacob looking to the inside. Riley going to close that door, not give him an opportunity to get underneath, set anything up for the next corner. Looking back here in the fifth position with J.D. Callahan. He's got the number, gained a couple positions, got that number 46 of Philip Martin still sitting there behind him. J.D.'s answering some questions for us, already pushing that car, already making them tires work. Doesn't seem to be suffering too bad from that early spinner, the work he's put in through coming through this field. Runs in a pack there with that 46 and 40 of Bud Reidner, the 132 of Jacob Heathcote, all kind of running together. Everybody just kind of waiting for somebody else to make a mistake, give them an opportunity to get underneath. We've seen several times these guys get in just a little bit too deep or carry a little more speed than they were expecting. That car will slide right up the track. Let that guy behind you jump into the picture and try and make something happen, as we see there with the 132 getting underneath, making that pass past Adam Maddox in the 94 car. Back to the front, Jacob back at it again underneath Riley, coming through 1 and 2. Bobby Hamilton Jr. looking to make something happen there for himself. Trying to follow through, not quite able to do it, as we watch Riley dive now to the inside of the number 97. These guys are just trading that position back and forth, fighting with each other all the way around this track tonight. All that fighting these guys have been doing is bringing Bobby Hamilton right there to the rear bumper of Riley. More or less just waiting for those two to get their business settled, give him an opportunity to make his own moves. Even with the battling going on, it looks like we got about a 1 second gap between the top three and fourth place of Patrick Smith. Those guys able to battle and still be pulling a little bit of time out. Looks like the field is single filed out. These guys kind of clicking some laps off, maybe just trying to save some tires for the end of the race when it's time to really get racing, really push things a little bit more than we're seeing right now. Jacob Notstead seems to have pulled a little bit of a gap, giving himself a little bit of breathing room for a minute here while Riley gathers things back up. Don't expect to see him dropping off the back. We know he'll be pushing that machine all the way to the end of this race. J.D. Callahan battling here with the 129, or the 132 of Jacob Heathcote. Those two running nose to tail. Just in front of them, the 46 of Philip Martin looking to the inside on Patrick Smith in that number 79 machine, able to make that pass going into 3 and 4. Gonna have that position coming out of that corner. Watching that 129 machine here pretty close. He was able to make some positions, make some moves, but it looks like he's starting to slide back through the field. Those tires might already be coming into play for him. See him sitting on the tail end of that 4-car pack. Philip Martin, after coming past the 79 of Patrick Smith, able to pull a little bit of a gap. See him start to move away from these guys. Looking up front, looks like we got more action with Jacob Notstead and Riley Stingham back at it again. Riley to the inside, Jacob to the outside. These guys are going to be fighting coming across the line. This time by will be Riley Stingham. Bobby Hamilton Jr. looking to follow Riley through, holding Jacob to the outside, not letting him get back down into that preferred line. Looks like Jacob might have got to that outside wall a little bit. Guy's going to calm it down a little bit. Jacob just barely nipping that apron there, just a little bit low. Saw the car get a little bit squirrely on him. The nature of this track, it being a drafting track, You know, Riley's able to make that pass, or Jacob's able to make that pass, but not quite able to run away with anything. The draft's going to let that car behind you stay right with you, provided you don't make any big mistakes. We see the 17 of Bobby Hamilton Jr. looking to the inside all the way down on that apron this time by. Got a little bit loose, gave up a little bit of ground. JD Callahan back here in the 129 machine, sitting back on that bumper of Jacob Heathcote. Trying to get something going, see him running a slightly higher line, maybe looking to carry more momentum through that corner. Giving Jacob something to think about, sitting right off his bumper. Patrick Smith slowly dropping off the back there. We saw him in front of these two a little bit ago. Looks like he's dropped back to that 7th position as these two chase down that 46 of Philip Martin. Jonathan Cross back here in our touch of class machine, pushing that car, getting every little bit of power and he can get out of it, trying to make his way through the field. Sitting right now behind the 114, Jesse Womack. Jesse get a little wiggle coming out of there, 3 and 4. Going to give Jonathan an opportunity to get back to that bumper, get some work in on that car in front of him, and try and make that pass happen. Womack again sideways, able to save it. Just barely keeping that car off the wall. Jonathan Cross able to take that position, not get caught up in anything. Always a little bit scary when you see that car in front of you start to get a little sideways, wondering which way it's going to go, where you need to put your car. Looking back up front here, these guys are still at it. Jacob Notstead not letting Riley Stenjum breathe, just staying right there on his bumper, going to make him pay for any little mistake he makes. With Bobby Hamilton Jr. sitting back there, just letting these guys run their race, letting them maybe fight each other and use up those tires a little bit quicker. Number 97, Jacob to the inside, able to push that car right on by Riley Stenjum. Bobby Hamilton, you saw him taking a look there, not able to make that happen. Riley right back to the bumper of the number 97 in front of him. Like I said, these guys are battling hard, but somehow able to pull more time out of that number 46 car behind him, now sitting 2.3 seconds in front of him. Riley back to that inside line. We've seen this move over and over throughout the night, just trading that position. Able to clear him there through 1 and 2. Jacob sitting in second, looking to the inside, already trying to make something happen. The whole time he's fighting with Jacob and Riley are fighting. Bobby's just sitting right there, biding his time, saving those tires a little bit more than these guys are able to do. Jacob still the inside. Able to make that, oh, not quite able to make that pass. Thought he was going to be able to get by, not able to do it this time. Looks like he will lead at the line, but not completely clear. Watching Riley, he's sliding up that track a little bit before finally able to dive it down in right in front of Bobby Hamilton. All right, well, these guys are single file for a minute. Let's take a look through our top 10. Got Jacob Notstead sitting first, Riley Stenjum sitting second with Bobby Hamilton right off his bumper. Philip Martin sitting fourth, J.D. Callahan sitting 5th. 6th place, Jacob Heathcote. Patrick Smith in 7th. 8th is going to be Adam Maddox. 9th, Bud Reidner. And 10th, Cody Hubbard. As we're running through there, we're able to see Jacob pull a little bit more of a gap than we've seen between him and Riley throughout this night. Riley looks like he's fighting that car a little bit, getting a little sideways through the corners. Gives Bobby Hamilton an opportunity to come to the inside, able to make that move. We've watched him kind of bide his time, let these guys fight with each other, and looks like now's his chance to start pushing again. We watched him up here towards the front and then drop to the back where he just kind of bided his time, let those guys do what they were going to do before making this move with just over 20 laps to go. These guys will be coming to the line. Looks like on lap 78 this time, as Bobby Hamilton's got Riley all over his back bumper. Riley still not going to give that position up completely, still going to be fighting for it, trying to make his way back past. While they're doing that, that gives Jacob an opportunity to pull out a little bit of a lead. We see him sitting about 5/10 in front of Bobby Hamilton. That's about the biggest gap we've seen between first and second place for a long time here tonight. Caution's out, caution's out. See if we can see where that happened. Roger, were you able to catch where our caution happened here?
I believe this caution is going to involve the number 40 here of Bud Reidner. Let's see as we go overhead here and see what happened to him. I believe he might have got into the wall a little bit. We're following him down Thunder Alley, down the backstretch into 3. Let's watch what happens down into turn 3. He's all by himself. Gets a little piece of that yellow line down there, the apron. He goes to catch the car. Oh, he tries to save it, almost got it corrected, spun her out, and I believe he X'd out at that point because he has left the racing surface. So Bud Reidner in the number 40 bringing out a caution here with 20 laps to go. So unfortunately, Bud Reidner now looks like he's going to load that one up into the trailer. But Danny, it's going to be a shootout from this point forward with these guys racing the way they are at the front of this track.
Looking at 20 laps to go, these guys have been going at it hard. It's going to bunch everybody back up. Be interesting to see Bobby Hamilton Jr. sitting there to that outside line after we watched him work so hard to get into that second position. That outside line, like we've seen all night long, not the place you want to be. Gotta imagine he's not super excited about this caution, but back to see the top 3 once again kind of stretch their legs and get rolling. Back there behind him, everybody will get gathered up and get a little more action going there towards the back of the field. Like we said, being here towards the end of the race, everybody's got to be looking at those cars going, all right, how much further do I got to go? How much can I use this car up and still make it to the end with something to roll on? Tonight's race brought to you from the Rockingham Speedway by Touch of Class Collision. If you're in the Ohio area looking for some auto body work to be done, they are some great guys to get in touch with. They'll be able to help you out, get that car looking nice again. Looking at 19 laps to go. The lights are still on that pace car, so we got at least one more time around this track before we get these cars rolling again. The commercial real quick, and we'll be right back here for more action from the Rockingham Speedway in the Touch of Class 100.
coming for a splash. Three, two, one, now. All clear. Punch it. Great job. You did really well.
Welcome back to the Rockingham Speedway. The lights are out on the pace car. Look for him to drop down and we'll get this thing back under green for the last 17 laps of this race here tonight. Jacob Notstad going to lead him back to green with Bobby Hamilton Jr. sitting in second to his outside, Riley St. sitting in third, and Philip Martin sitting in fourth. Jacob quick that loud power as soon as that pace car dropped off the track, going to give himself a little bit of breathing room as they get going back here to green. Bobby Hamilton dropping back into line as quick as he can, right there behind Riley St. Watch for these guys to get rolling again. That 46 back there, Philip Martin battling with J.D. Callahan. Still sitting to his outside, not quite able to clear him coming through that corner. Going to be stuck out there just a little bit longer. So he looks to get back to that inside line. We know that's where he's looking to go. JD's got to know that too. Going to hold him out there as long as he needs to. Happy to run that bottom. Looks like everybody else has kind of figured out where they're going to be on track other than JD and Philip are battling it out here. This will be their second time by, still sitting with the outside. Oh, there he goes. Philip Martin dropping in line there behind JD Callahan. Doesn't look super content to stay there. He crosses over, gets to the inside. Just behind them, looks like there's a little bit of contact. We're almost 3 wide with the 79 132. 94 of Adam Maddox pulls out of that one, decides that's not the best idea coming into that corner. Just to his outside is going to be Cody Hubbard. Looking to make a move from that outside line, something we haven't seen here tonight. Got a little bit of a run, see if he's able to do anything with it. Bobby Hamilton up here to the front, looking to that inside of Riley St. Not able to make that happen, but still sitting right there in that bumper. We're looking ahead just a little bit. Jacob Notstad has had Riley sitting on his bumper all night long, but able to pull out a 3/10 lead at this point. Maybe able to save a little bit with those tires. Somehow, through all that battling, able to save something that's given him a little bit of an edge here at the end of the run. Riley St. doing whatever it takes to make sure Bobby Hamilton stays behind him. All they're battling back here is just going to give Jacob more and more space to work with. You see a little bit of contact there from Bobby Hamilton, letting him know, I'm here, I'm coming. Riley's got to be working that wheel like a madman, making sure that he's able to hold on to that position. While they've been doing that, seems like about a lap or two, and we're already looking at over a second gap between second and first. Bobby Hamilton looks like he's pulling back up to that bumper, looking to get that race battle going between them here again pretty quick. Maybe taking some notes, thinking how he's going to get past this time. One of the great things about running here on iRacing is the drivers you're able to race with. You've been hearing that name, Bobby Hamilton Jr., all night long, and yes, that is the Bobby Hamilton Jr. Used to run NASCAR. Out here on track with these guys, putting on a show. Expect him to know what to do with that car to figure out a way past Riley St. See Riley almost into that wall, might have made a little bit of contact. Watching. There he goes. Riley St. slips up just a little bit up that track. That's the gap that Bobby's looking for. Able to get to that inside. We'll watch him work with that inside line, that preferred line this time by. Not quite able to clear out of 1 and 2. There he goes by there on entry of 3. Riley going to drop in line behind him. See if Bobby Hamilton's got anything left in that car, able to push up and close that gap. Now sitting at 0.8 seconds off the back of Jacob Notstead. All that battling made a huge gap between first and second. Brought Philip Martin in that 46 car right into the picture, sitting right behind Riley Stingham right now, looking to make another pass. Riley just got done battling with Bobby Hamilton, and now he's got another car to worry about. Looks like that might be taking a little bit of a toll on him. We see him get a little bit sideways. Watching a great battle here between the 46 and 177. Riley wheeling that car, doing everything he can to make sure that he holds on to that position now. Running right down on the bottom of that. We've seen earlier that getting on the bottom lane there is going to cause issues for these cars, going to get them a little bit loose. Caution is out on track. Looks like that might involve the 94, the 79, maybe the 20 of Cody Hubbard, all getting caught up in a little something. Roger, you able to take a look at that, see what we got going?
Well, an unfortunate late caution coming out here as these guys were battling right around the 8th, 9th, and 10th position. Adam had the position. It looked like Patrick Smith in the 79 wanted it because he was being pressured by the 114 of Jesse Womack. They went down in the corner. It was just a chain reaction. 94 letting off the loud pedal a little bit early. 79 into the back of him. The 114 into the back of him. And then, unfortunately, the 20 of Cody Hubbard coming in there and making very hard contact with these guys after the yellow had already been thrown. Let's wind her back a little bit and see if we can go on board with the number 20 of Cody. As we go on board, you see those 3 drivers out in front, 3 and 4 cars up in front of Cody here as they go down the backstretch. This is where it's all going to unfold. You see the action happening in front of it. Cody was off the throttle the entire time. Unfortunately, that 79 car there of Patrick coming right back down the track into his path. And that's going to end a lot of guys' nights here in the late going.
The only good news we're seeing out of this is it looks like we will be able to get back to green. As we know here with iRacing, if you are under 5 laps, it will finish out under yellow. But looks like that happened with 6 to go, so hopefully we get this finished out under green. These guys are able to race it out to the end for us tonight. You know, we've been watching this battle up here with Bobby Hamilton, Riley Stingham. Riley really going to benefit from this caution, going to get him bunched right back up and give him that inside lane, that preferred line through the corners here. Bobby Hamilton can be stuck to the outside in that second place position. You know, we watched Jacob pull out that lead, take more and more time out of these guys behind him. That's now completely gone. He's now got a rear view mirror that is full of cars, where before he had a little bit of room to work with, a little bit of room to breathe. As these guys keep pacing around, let's take a look at our top 10. Jacob Notstead sitting in first place. Bobby Hamilton sitting second. Riley Stingham sitting in third. Philip Martin sitting fourth. J.D. Callahan. That machine has been all over the field tonight, sitting up here in fifth. Sixth place, Jacob Heathcote. Seventh, Jesse Womack. Eighth place, Jonathan Cross. Ninth place, Cody Hubbard. And 10th, Mike Todd. Seen a lot of hard racing out of these guys tonight. Expect it to continue right to the end if we can get this thing back under green flag racing. Lights are out on the pace car. It looks like we will have a 2-lap shootout here to the end. All right, as we watch him coming around into that back stretch, Riley sitting right there on the bumper, letting Jacob know, I'm here, we're ready to race, let's finish this thing. Here we go for an awesome green-white checker. Let's see if these guys can get this to the end, keep that battle going all the way right to the finish line tonight. Jacob Notstead holding up just a little bit. Riley expecting him to go a little bit sooner right into the back end. That hands that second position over to Bobby Hamilton. It was his position, but gives him a clean opportunity to get to that inside line. He's on that inside line, but Riley is not letting him go. Riley going to look to the inside here through 3. Looks like we got some chaos going on down the back. We are going to stay green, though, as everybody's able to keep it from coming back up onto the track. Riley, after that little bit of a messy start, able to get back up into that second position. Oh, sideways into the wall. Bobby Hamilton Jr. going to take up that second position. Philip Martin up into 3rd. Jacob Notstead coming out of 4th, taking the win tonight. It's going to give him 7 wins with the series. Excited to hear from him at the end of this one. Getting it a little bit sideways. Second place going to be Bobby Hamilton. 3rd place, Philip Martin. Jacob Heathcote shown in 4th with J.D. Callahan. That 129 machine we saw bouncing through the field, finishing 5th. In 6th, Adam Maddox. 7th, Mike Todd. 8th is Jesse Womack. 9th, Patrick Smith. And 10th, Cody Hubbard. Going to bring that machine home. All right, you can take a look at that running order there at the left-hand side of the screen. Find your favorite driver, see how he did tonight. We'll step away for just a minute while we try and get these guys up here into the booth so we can have a word with them. All right, welcome back. Got with me tonight Philip Martin, able to bring that 46 machine here home in 3rd position for the Touch of Class 100 from the Rockingham Speedway. Philip, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. That was some exciting racing watching there. How was the track for you?
Through the middle, I think I just wore out the right front, and other than that, I was doing okay. I thought maybe if I think I made it have some fun with those guys if I could have had a couple better restarts here and there, but overall, it was a good night. I'll take 3rd.
That's always a nice place to finish, able to make something happen there towards the end. The track was a little bit bumpy. Was that messing with you much, or were you able to just kind of work right through it?
No, that's just how this place is. You just kind of find your way through them.
Well, once again, congratulations on that 3rd place finish. Excited to see you up here. Anyone you need to thank? Anyone that helps you get that car out there on track?
I gotta thank Patrick and JP. I mean, without them two, I don't know if this league would even be going right now. I mean, between the 3 of us, we've come pretty far, and it's been a lot of fun. And then bringing you guys on board, it's been great.
Awesome. Well, great job tonight. Congratulations on that 3rd place finish.
Thank you.
Bobby, Roger, and Danny up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
How you doing tonight?
Doing good, man. Glad to be here.
Oh, we're excited to have you. You know, looking at this track, we watched you working your way behind that battle that was going on in front of you. What were you thinking was sitting back there behind those guys?
Well, I wanted to give them room in case they got into each other. I mean, they were inches away and they were leaning on each other. So, as a racer, I was just like, well, maybe I can sneak by them once they get together or something. But they were extremely fast, and it was one of those. If I knew if they got together and gave me a shot at the bottom, I try to get away as quick as possible. When I knew I got down to 75 laps, it was like, okay, I got to go no matter what. And I could see those guys getting loose off the corner, so where I saved my tires during the race, it paid off at the end. But this place is notorious in real life and on the game here. You got to back the corner up to get in the gas early, and a lot of those guys were overshooting the corner and stuff. So we just kind of sit back, waited, and I nothing for the 97. The guy that I really wrecked on last lap or something. I could outrun him, but the 97 was in a class of his own, and it was fun being here. It bring back actually a lot of memories, and this is the best division they got on iRacing. These little street stocks are fun.
They're a good time. We're excited to see you out here with us. Always fun to have guys that have a little experience, give us a little insight on what the track's doing. Congratulations on coming home second place tonight. Anyone you need to thank? Anyone that helps you get out here on track?
Yeah. Well, no, not really. Just me. I've been meaning to run this series for a long time. I signed up for it at the beginning of the year, and man, I just been crazy busy. And tonight I was off, and I was like, Rockingham, I'm going. And I like to run next weekend at Watkins Glen. That should be fun. And just glad to be here. Seemed like a good group of guys, fast guys, and that's what makes everything fun. So I'm glad to be here. Glad everybody let me join and kind of hang around.
Hey, well, thank you for coming out tonight. Congratulations on that second place finish. Able to catch up with that number 97 of Jacob Notstead. Jacob, how you doing tonight?
Pretty good. Pretty fun race we had there.
Well, we're excited to see it. You battling your way through the field and then able to get out there to the front. How was the track treating you tonight? We saw the temperatures jump up and down. Were you able to feel that out there in the car?
Yeah, you could definitely feel the track change throughout. It got a little faster toward the end when the clouds came. It was overall a really great race. A lot of clean driving with 17 and the 77, so that was fun.
Yeah, we watched you guys trade that position back and forth. No one really able to pull away too far till the end there. Just able to save a little bit of tire, or just those guys battling behind you able to give you a little more room?
Yeah, I tried to save the tire at the start of the race, but it was so hard to pull away because of the draft, so you just kind of had to manage it, and I knew we were going to be side by side a lot, so it just kind of played out and everything in my favor, restarts and the long runs with the second and third battling, so got it done tonight.
Well, we're excited to see you out here again this week. That makes, 7 wins in this series for you here?
Yeah.
Amazing feat.
Yeah, I unfortunately missed last week because I was busy, so I guess it's still 7 in a row for me.
Well, congratulations on that. Not only the first tonight, but pulling in those wins each time you come out here to the track. Anybody helps you get that car out on track? Anybody you need to say thank you to?
Yeah, I gotta thank my grandparents for supporting the internet over here. We live out in the country, so I gotta come over here to race, but that's about it, so thanks to them.
Well, hey, we appreciate seeing you out on track, and look forward to seeing you here in the coming weeks.
All right, thank you. Thanks to all the guys in the league for supporting this. This is a great series.
Well, there you have it. The Shupin race crew brought us a great race here from Rockingham Speedway for the Touch of Class 100. Next week, mixing it up once again. Now that we've hit a big track, now let's head to the road course, head to Watkins Glen. That'll be exciting to see these guys sling those street stocks around the corners there and try and make them stick. From everyone here at Turn 3 Racing, thank you for watching. Look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great night.